Hi, today I'm going to be showing you how to create bridges. First, right click your default shading and make sure you have edged faces turned on. Then, go into your objects and drawing a plane. Once that's drawn, select box and draw two boxes so that we can connect them with the bridge. Once you've done that, we'll want to add the segments to each block so that we can select the faces and connect them using that bridge. So by selecting the first box and going to modify and then adjusting the length, width and height segments. So I'm going to go 10, 5 and 5 so that they're square and that they're easy to select. I'm going to do the same for the second box. There we go, and as you can see the faces on each side of the box. By right-clicking one of them, convert to Edible Poly, and scrolling down to Edit Geometry and selecting Attach. Then you'll need to select the box you haven't already selected so that attaches to the first one, and as you can see that changed colour. Scrolling back up to the selections and selecting the square polygon, then scrolling down to Edit Polygons. We want to select the square option, which is the settings option next to bridge. Basically what this does is bring up this little edit box in your model space so that once the bridge is created you can apply twists and tapers and things like that to it. Now what we're going to do is select faces on each of the blocks so that we can connect it with the bridge. So by holding Control on your keyboard you can select multiple faces. I'm going to select a couple on this one, so we'll go maybe 4 there. And then spinning it around to this one, again we can select a couple, and as you can see the bridge is already being created from that one to the second, and that's just from selecting the faces on each, as you can see there. And you can go around and you can select multiple, so if you wanted to do another one down lower you can select the faces you're wanting on each box and connect it that way. Now these settings over here allow you to do a few things. So the first one is the segments, so applying the segments to the bridge as we did with the blocks. So changing that to say 5, as you can see that's broken it up into 5 segments, again to 10, and you can see that that's changing into smaller segments. This one here is taper, so it will taper the bridge out, leaving it on the faces that were originally selected, but you can sort of do things like that with it and make it a bit thinner and play around with it that way. So you can go into the negatives as well with all of these options if you were looking at that. So you could go like that, something like that if you wanted. But for this purpose, let's maybe do it on a 3 so we can still see that's been applied. Oops, 3. And then as you can see, if we move the camera here, it still stays in the faces that were selected, it just tapers out. Now these last options down the bottom here is twist and twist 2. So one's here, so if you select twist, it will allow you to twist the bridge there, and then again going into the negatives does the same thing. Now obviously you still want it to be functionable if that's the purpose of it, so people can still walk through. So the twist may not be necessarily, but let's pop it to maybe a 5 just so we can see. Okay, maybe 4, let's go like that. And then twist 2 again just does the same thing but gives it that extra twist. So in this case it's not necessary, so we'll leave it at 0. So as you can see that's got the taper applied as well as the twist to it, and obviously we've got those segments in there, so you can still adjust, taper more if you're wanting to and play around with that. Again, it's just depending on that overall look that you're wanting. So you can see there. Now once you're happy with it, just select this tick and that becomes part of the edit poly there. Now another way to create bridges, now we'll need to draw 2 new boxes. So same steps, we'll need to select one, right click, convert to Edible Poly, As you can see, the segments have stayed the same because I haven't gone in and changed them. So every block that I draw will have the same segments unless I go in and change them. So right click editable poly and then scrolling down to attach as we did before, selecting the second one. And as you can see, they're now the same color. Scrolling up again to the polygon square and then scrolling back down to edit polygons. So the difference with this one is when instead of using bridge settings, we're going to use extrude settings. So again, selecting the settings square next to the word extrude and you get that pop up in your model space. It's very similar, just different tools. Now what this is going to do is extrude it across from one. So again, by holding down Control, you can select multiple. So we can maybe select one on each. So we can do this one. As you can see, they're already extruding out like that. And obviously they're not reaching that building yet. Now that's why we selected the squares next to the option so that we can edit these things. So this is where we can adjust the height, so the extrude itself. So by changing this up, as you can see, and changing it back down, we'll adjust the extrude length and height there. So popping that there, and there you go. As you can see, you've got that extrude straight across. So we select the tick, OK. And that's another way you can build the bridges across. That's two ways using the polygon option, how you can create bridges between two buildings. Hope you've enjoyed this video. Thank you. See you on the next one. Bye.